Thank you so much. Okay, so this is the agenda whilst everyone is mentioning where they're based at the moment. So meet the CEO, which is myself, and then we're going to talk about key achievements of TriTech, identifying the problem why so many of you are not able to get your success story. Hopefully, if there is time, I will do a little bit of training, and then I will announce our juicy offer that we have in store for everybody today. So just let me know in the chat where you're all dialing in from, and then we will start. I hope you're just as excited as I am. I do these sessions every couple of weeks, and it's nice to just meet a different vibe of people. Hopefully, you're going to make it engaging and entertaining at the same time. Feel free to ask as many questions as possible. No question is a silly question. We want to make sure that you leave today's session, fully knowledgeable and confident about the tech space. So are we all ready? Give me a yes or a no in the chat, and then we will get started. Can I get someone from the team to just come into the office because of the lights and everything? Thank you. Okay, so without further ado, let's start. Next slide, please. So this is me. My name is Dr. Adishola Cole, and I am the CEO of TriTech Academy. So a little bit about myself. I was born in Hackney, and then at the age of 11, I continued with my primary and secondary education in Nigeria. So I went to Ifako International, and from there, I went to Lagos State University, where I studied literature in English. Turn that off. Thank you. As soon as I graduated, I was ready to come back home. So I came back to the UK, and then I did a lot of odd jobs. So I used to be a cleaner. I used to work for a variety of hotels within the UK. The Savoy Hotel, the Thistle Hotel, and the Hilton Hotel. So I was a chambermaid that would go from door to door, laying. Hi, Shegun. Shegun Banjoko. I do know a Banjoko that was in Ifako, so maybe it's you. I don't know. So I used to be a chambermaid working from one hotel to another, cleaning about 10 to 15 rooms a day. And then from there, I moved into selling cakes and donuts at a bakery in Stamford Hill. That's somewhere in Hackney. So I used to sell cakes and donuts and all of that stuff and sandwiches, you name it. And then from there, I used to work in a gambling company where people would come in and place bets on horses and football and everything else. And then found my way in the bank, and I was in the bank for 10 years. So I used to work for NatWest Bank. I started off as a cashier. And then from a cashier, I was a sales advisor, and I was a very good sales advisor. Give me anything to sell, and I'm going to sell it with my eyes closed. Mortgages, loans. So when you used to walk into the bank back in the day, because I think a lot of things have changed now, but back then, you would come and deposit your checks and your cash. I would be the one to take you into a room, sell you a mortgage, loan, all of that stuff. So I was a top seller. And then I was moved to the role of a bank manager, all within the same branch. But there was a challenge within my 10 years of working in the bank. And the challenge was very, very simple. I was getting a lot of empty promises. Okay, you're going to get a pay rise, you're going to get XYZ, you're going to get promotions. And at the end of the day, nothing was happening. So I became really, really frustrated, working 9 to 5, doing long hours, working in sales because it was predominantly sales, and nothing was happening financial wise. So I'd pay my bills, pay my rent and everything else, and have nothing left at the end of the month. So I was speaking to a friend of mine. So, when you come back from work and you're just complaining, either you're complaining to your husband, your wife, your friends, etc. So I was complaining to this friend of mine about the bank, and I was tired and etc. etc. And then he suggested that I try getting into tech. I mean, this was about 10 years ago because I transitioned in 2014. So then we never used to say transition into tech. It was just, why don't you try getting a job as a project manager or a business analyst? So in March, I think it was February, March 2014, I joined a company similar to what I now operate. And within 3 months, I was able to get my success story and transition into tech, as they now say. So that was how I transitioned in, it was 2014. Now, how did TriTech come about? Within that company where I secured my success story, I stayed on as a mentor. And that's when I realized that I had a passion for mentorship. So I would literally mentor people and they will get their success story. So I stayed on within that company for about 2 years. And then in March 2017, I was pregnant with baby number three. So I'm married with three amazing children. So I was pregnant with baby number three. And I thought to myself, do you know what? I'm going to go on maternity. So I need something to get me by. Aside from this tech role that I'm doing and the mentorship that I'm doing within that company. So TriTech was birthed in March 2017, I think just before I had my third child. I'll be honest with you, when I started TriTech, I didn't really have a goal or a vision of how impactful or big it was going to be. It was just something to get me by. I didn't have any confidence within myself. It wasn't a case of, oh, let me do this thing and I'm going to be the best in the world. It was just like, you know what, let me just try and I'll see how it goes. So we had an office in Tottenham and we had just two candidates. And of course, roll on 2025, we have over 5,000 candidates on our platform. And most importantly, over 3,000 success stories. So in March this year, TriTech is going to be 8 years old. So we have been around for quite a while. And I'm just going to run through some of our achievements and accomplishments over the years. So in 2016, I received the Mentor of the Year award within that company where I stayed on as a mentor. In 2018, I received the Woman of the Year award. 2020, recipient of the Award for Youth Empowerment. Again, in 2022, I received another Woman of the Year award. I also received a Rotary Recognition Award in 2022, Emerging CEO of the Year 2022, an African Achievers Legacy Award at the House of Parliament 2022, Global Excellence Outstanding Woman in Tech Award 2023. Also in February of the year 2023, we did an interview with Forbes Africa, where we talked about the impact that we're making within the tech space and particularly in the African community. 2023, I was featured as the top 100 most impactful people in Africa, and also 2024 top 100 influential global voices in Africa as well. So that is a little bit about myself and TriTech. Thank you so much, guys. For those of you saying congratulations, only one person. Come on, guys. A win for me is a win for everybody, right? And I think if I can do it, everyone can do it. From being a cleaner, selling cakes, selling donuts, working in the bank, being really frustrated. And I decided to do something out of that frustration. And here I am today. So for me, achievements, and I'm very, very proud of, not just for myself, but my team as a whole. Thank you, guys. Let's have a look at the next slide. Okay, so some key achievements that we achieved last year. So on the left-hand corner, you should be able to spot me. It's very obvious. I was invited to the House of Parliament on 3 occasions last year, where I delivered several sessions on fintech, innovation, and digital skills. So that was an amazing moment for me and my team. That was me on the left. That is me in the middle, the shortest, always the shortest, everywhere I go. This was where I was invited to a book launch with Lord Dominic Johnson, former Minister of Trade for Business. So that was an amazing opportunity to meet such dignitaries at that time. And this is me again, always the shortest on the right. Thank you, Casey. On the right-hand side, I was invited to deliver a session on cybersecurity with the Security Minister, Tom Tugendhat. So all of that happened last year. Amazing moments again for myself, for my team, and it just shows that TriTech is also, being called to these amazing places such as the House of Parliament to deliver training sessions. So these are moments that I'm really, really proud of. Next slide, please. Do we have any more? Let's have a look. Next slide. Thank you. That was me again, House of Parliament on the left. This was just recent. This was this year. TriTech Academy was shortlisted as the top 20 Black-owned businesses in the UK, as selected by Channel 4 and Lloyds Bank. So we made the shortlist, and it's something that again, I am very, very proud of, thinking of, how many Black-owned businesses there are in the UK, and to be shortlisted as the top 20. So again, another amazing achievement for myself and my team. So enough about me and enough about TriTech, and thank you so much for all your wishes, etc. Let's have a look at the next slide. All right, so like I said, it's enough about me and the genesis of TriTech. Now it's all about you. You are here and you joined this call because I would say ultimately you want to get into tech. So again, we want to make this a little bit interactive. So let me know in the chat, why are you here today? What has made you join today's session? I'm sure some of you are working or you've done shift patterns, you're tired, it's 7 p.m., you just want to, watch EastEnders or go to bed or whatever. Thank you, Tola. And you're here with this woman. Hopefully, we're going to finish on time, so don't worry about that. But I just want to know what has made you join today's session. So let's have a look. Career changes, trying to upskill, career change. Think I might be good at tech, want a job I like. I like that, Katie. Career growth, I'm just here to see if this is for me. And I think that's really, really important. Many people want to transition into tech. And the million-dollar question is tech really for me? And that's why it's really important that you attend these sessions so then you can make a decision as to whether it's for you or not. Tech is not for everybody, but I'm hoping that today, for those of you on the call, it's for all of you, basically. Career, improve more, improve growth. Okay, so I would say the majority of you on this call, you want to upskill, you want that career growth. Someone said financial freedom, and I would absolutely agree to that. So if any of you have family and friends in tech at the moment, you will see that, they have that financial stability, and that is the beauty of tech itself. So let's have a look at some of the reasons why perhaps you've not been able to secure your role. Let's have a look. So personal reasons. First and foremost, the tech industry is very competitive right now. So one thing about TriTech is that we don't like to sugarcoat things. We like to say it exactly how it is. When I transitioned into tech 10 years ago, and it makes me feel really, really old when I say that, I would say there were about maybe 20 people applying for one job. But as it stands right now, I can tell you categorically that you will probably see 500 people applying for just one job. So the industry is super competitive right now. That doesn't mean that you cannot get a job, and that doesn't mean that tech is not for you. But what it simply means is that when you want to transition into tech and you want to apply for your job, you have to be more intentional, you have to be more strategic, and you really need to think about your unique selling point that's going to make you stand out from the competition. So for me, for example, if I was applying for a job as a project manager, I would highlight all my awards and all my accomplishments. So it's very important that you understand that nowadays you cannot afford to be average. Average will not get you anywhere within the tech space. So that's the number one reason. A high competition, high saturation, and therefore you need to be more intentional and strategic when you are applying for these roles. Number two, imposter syndrome. So imposter syndrome will make you feel like a fraud, number one. Imposter syndrome will make you feel like, you're not capable to do it, and it will make you lose confidence in yourself. So again, I'm going to use myself as an example. Coming back from Nigeria and then working as a cleaner. There's something inside me that will probably make me think that because I am a cleaner, that is what I am subjected to do for the rest of my life. So therefore, mentally, it's a restriction. How many of you can relate to that? So maybe some of you are working in care at the moment, or you're doing security, or jobs that you're not proud of, but there's something inside you that prevents you from going to the next stage of your career because you feel that that's all you're capable of doing. Here in the UK, for example. So imposter syndrome makes you lose confidence in yourself. And because you're not confident in your abilities and because you're not confident in your skill set, therefore you begin to procrastinate, and therefore you're not able to start making that decision to get into the tech space. We get a lot of candidates who will say, oh, I'm just a cleaner, I'm just doing care, or my accent, or I don't have a degree, I'm not speaking good English. And really and truly, those things do not matter. What is important is knowing to do the job and knowing how to do the job. So your accent is not a barrier, and what you're doing currently is not a barrier as well. It's very, very important that if you want to make that decision, you need to be confident, you need to be bold, and you need to believe in yourself as well. So don't be limited by what you're doing currently. Yes, some of you might be cleaners and doing jobs that you're not happy about, but that doesn't mean that you cannot get out of that cycle and then get your job in tech. Let's have a look at other personal reasons: family and work commitments. You're doing a 9 to 5, you're doing a 10 to 10, you're doing shift work, you've got family, you've got studies, you've got financial implications and burdens, and there's so much happening. So you simply do not have the time to commit to this program. And I'm going to be very, very honest with you. In order for you to succeed in this tech journey, you must be able to sacrifice some sort of time, whether it's 2 hours a day or whether it's 3 hours a day. Okay, it's important that you're able to sacrifice that time. A lack of real work experience. So back in the day, I could easily get a job in tech with my Prince 2 or my Agile certification. But nowadays, when you're going for an interview, or changing so forth. And again, I'm not sure if anyone has gone for an interview, but you will find that the interview process is becoming more and more rigorous. Again, back in the day, I would go for an interview and I would be asked, what's your definition or what's your understanding of Prince 2? Or tell me about Agile. But nowadays, when you go for an interview, you have a first stage, you have a second stage, and you also have a third stage. And you have to do case studies, you have to do presentations. And if you don't have that real experience, you will struggle in that area. So are there any of you on this call that have attempted to go for an interview? Just give me a yes, no. You've tried, but you're just not acing that interview. You've tried various applications. Weird. And if the job is for me, the job is for me. And if the job is, have a look at so the job market right now is highly innovative. Hmm? Sound dropping off, I'm cutting off. So 4 or 5 people are saying that I'm dropping off, so there must be a problem. Can you guys hear me now? Okay, a lot of you are saying I'm cutting off. David, you're on the call. Am I cutting off?
We can hear you now.
Okay, can you just let me know when you can't hear me,
All right.
please? Thank you. Sorry, guys. Okay, just let me know. All right, thank you. If not, I'm gonna have to go elsewhere because the Wi-Fi here is really, really crazy. All right. I was talking about professional reasons, and I was talking about not understanding the job market. The job market right now, as I've mentioned, is very competitive, number one, but also it's highly innovative. So what we mean is it's like a circle. You know, when a circle is going round and round and round. So you might be thinking it's all about Prince 2, and then along comes Agile. And then you might be thinking it's all about Agile. And now there's an up and coming trend that is all in our faces at the moment. So who can guess what that is? So there's an up and coming trend. It's everywhere we go, on Instagram, on Google, on our phones. We use it all the time. AI, fantastic. So, and that is the beauty of tech. And that is the importance of understanding the job market. So it's ever evolving and it's not a stagnant environment. So you perhaps sitting on this call thinking, I've got my Prince 2 and I'm ready to apply for jobs. I'm not saying that Prince 2 is a bad thing, but there are up and coming trends that you need to understand and learn about. Other reasons could be your LinkedIn profile is not reflecting the job that you're looking for. I would say that post-COVID, a lot of recruiters now source for talent on LinkedIn. We've had situations where candidates would have a LinkedIn profile, they wouldn't even apply for jobs, but we would have recruiters actually reach out to them and give them a job or select them for an interview. So right now, your LinkedIn profile is more powerful than ever before. Sometimes I go on LinkedIn, I'm not sure if anyone can relate, and I see a lot of funny things happening on there, people selling shoes, houses, and whatnot. But it's very important that LinkedIn is being used for the reason and the purpose of why it is there, to sell yourself. So how many of you on this call have a LinkedIn profile at the moment? Yes, no? And is it really reflecting what you want to become in the future? So if you want to get into tech, I would be expecting that your LinkedIn profile is showing all things tech, AI, innovations, and all of that kind of stuff. Okay. Another reason why perhaps you've not been able to transition into tech, interview preparation. Do not brag an interview. I know a lot of people who perhaps they jump the process and they skip the process, and then they just go, someone has written their CV for them. They go for the interview. They struggle to even defend their CV, number one. And maybe they've got the gift of the gab, so they're able to pass that interview and then they get the job. But guess what? There's a problem. There's one thing to get the job and there's another thing to keep that job as well. So I want to advise for those of you, perhaps you're thinking, you know what, let me just try a few interviews and see how I get on. That's absolutely fine. But always think to yourself, okay, if I get this job, am I going to be able to deliver to a high quality? Bearing in mind the industry is very competitive right now. Another reason could be that perhaps you're applying for the wrong roles. Can everyone still hear me? I'm just doing a sound check. Just give me a yes or a no. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just making sure I'm not speaking to myself. Great, great, great. Thank you. Okay, so what do I mean by applying for the wrong role? And this is where it gets really interesting. So everybody wants to transition into tech, right? And the beauty of tech is that there are many roles that you can go for. So it's not just project management roles, there are business analysis roles, there are PMO analyst roles. You've got agile coaches, scrum masters, UX designers, software testers, change managers, change analysts. So you will find that tech has a plethora of opportunities available to you and not just a PM or BA role. That's number one. Number two, you might find that based on your skill sets and based on your personality, maybe the role of a project manager is not right for you. So, for example, you're an introvert, you don't really like dealing with people, you don't really like handling conflict, you're not someone that really likes to be in at the forefront, you like to hide behind people as opposed to being at the forefront of meetings or speaking to a team of people. Therefore, based on that, maybe it's better for you to go for the role of a business analyst or the role of a PMO analyst based on your personality. And there are some of you, you are extroverts, you are very inquisitive, you're out there, you're bubbly, you're a people person, you like to deal with people, you know how to motivate, you know how to deal with difficult situations, you like to take charge, and therefore, based on your personality, perhaps it's better for you to go for the role of a project manager. So you will find that sometimes many of you are applying for the wrong roles, in which your behaviors, your personality, and your skill set is not suited to that role. And another reason why perhaps you have not been able to get your success story or transition is because you're overlooking your transferable skills. So how many people on this call think that in order for me to get a role in tech, I need to know maths, I need to know coding, or I need to have knowledge in Excel? Give me a yes or a no or any comment. This is me just checking that everyone is still paying attention, right? So if you really think, okay, I want to get into tech, I need to have an understanding of maths, I need to have an understanding of Excel, I need to have an understanding of coding, and maybe I have no experience, so therefore I am not suited for the role. Let me just see in the chat, and then I'm going to give you the all-important answer. So guess what? Every single one of you on this call has transferable skills that they can bring into the tech space. And I know that you've heard this many times on Instagram. I can tell you categorically that you do not need to have any knowledge in Excel or mathematics or coding. Essentially, what is important in order for you to transition into a tech role is your creative and innovative mindset, the ability to deal with people, the ability to not just identify problems, but come up with solutions, the ability to plan situations or to plan projects, to be highly organized, to be an effective communicator, and so on and so forth. So you don't need all of that coding skills or techie skills that a lot of you think you need to have to transition into tech. And just out of interest, I would like for you to put in the chat the role that you're doing currently. So what is your profession right now? So don't be ashamed. Remember, I've been a cleaner, I've sold cakes, I've sold donuts, I've worked in the bank. So just let me know. So we've got a change manager on the call. Hello, hello, hello. So just let me know. There's nothing to be ashamed about. We just want to have a feel of everyone's current profession, and then I will kind of fine tune it and let you know how you can use those skills to transition into tech. So let's have a look. Healthcare support worker, hospitality in the club, a healthcare student, an accountant, data analyst, there was a change manager, beauty therapist, etc. So I'm going to select one or two and then show your transferable skills that you have currently and how you can bring that into the tech space. So I'm going to start with a beauty therapist. Yeah, beauty, makeup, facials, lashes, etc. So what are the current skills that you have that you can bring into tech? Bear in mind, I have now said that every one of you has transferable skills. So as a beauty therapist, you would be dealing with clients or customers. They would be your stakeholders. As a beauty therapist, you've got to be somewhat creative. Yeah, people skills, communication skills is important. Um, if you're working for yourself as a beauty therapist, you've got to manage your budget, you've got to manage your timeline, and you need to have a plan, right? These are skills that you have that are transferable within the tech space. If you're working as a care worker, what are the skills that you have at the moment? Empathy, communication skills, people skills, risk assessments, for example. I think you would need to have strong governance skills. Any care workers in the house, let me know some of the skills that you need to have at the moment. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Healthcare complaints, clinical supervision, etc. So these are skills that you have already, and those are skills that you can bring into the tech space. Isn't that fantastic? So you're a student. Okay, so at the moment as a student, you're just studying. So there's not much that you can bring in for now. But let's have a look at a lawyer. This is an interesting one. Lawyers, hello. So as a lawyer, a lot of what you're doing is what? Governance. You're going to court and you're fighting for people to get justice. And in order for you to do that, you need to have a plan. I'm not a lawyer, so lawyers help me out. So in order for you to do that, you need to have a plan. You would need to interview your client, right? You can bring that into the tech space because a lot of what you're doing is interviewing, dealing with clients, ensuring that there are laws, quoting, legal, whatever. So the point that I'm trying to make is everything that you're doing, whether you're in care, you're a doctor, you're a nurse, you're a change manager, has aspects of tech that you can then bring into the tech space. Isn't that amazing, guys? So where some people say, I have no experience, sometimes I'm like, actually, you do. You just don't know it. So as a store assistant, perhaps you're selling shoes or you're selling cakes or whatever. You're going to be doing what? Engaging with your customers, engaging with your stakeholders and keeping them happy. So again, another aspect that you can bring into the tech space. Next slide, please. So have I been able to convince some of you that regardless of what you're doing currently, there are aspects of tech that you're doing that you just don't know about? Yeah, isn't that amazing? All right, so in TriTech, we have an elite tech training program. And we divide this into 3 stages, as you can see on our screen. So when you join us for a period of 9 months. In TriTech, we train you in both project management and also business analysis. So we give you 2 for the price of 1, but there's a reason, there are many reasons why we train you in both. So who would like to guess why? Why do you think we train you in both project management and also business analysis? So they're interrelated. Why else? So let's think about the industry. Remember, I said that the industry is like a circle. It goes round and round and round. It's ever evolving. It's ever changing. Remember, I talked about saturation. And I said that the industry is saturated at the moment. So with that in mind, the diversity, with that in mind, how is that going to help you? Having knowledge and experience in both. Considering this is a heavily saturated industry at the moment, they're interwoven. I'm looking for that one response. There's another response I'm looking for. Okay, so many reasons why we train you in both. As a lot of you have said, they are interwoven with each other. So therefore, what you'll find nowadays is that project managers would get hired and sometimes have to do the job of the business analyst. And sometimes a business analyst would get hired and have to do the job of a project manager. Okay, think about it. Every company right now is looking to do what? Save money. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know in the chat, okay? We know that right now the economy is not smiling. So therefore, why don't I hire someone who has the experience of both project management and also business analysis? So that's another reason. A third reason, and I talked about this initially, applying for roles that suit your personality. your character, and your skill set. So, for example, there might be some of you on this call who think that you're a project manager, and in actual fact, you're more of a business analyst. Or there might be some of you on this call that think you're a business analyst, and in actual fact, you're more of a project manager. So therefore, it makes sense to train you in everything, and then you know inside you which role interests you more. And the final reason, remember I talked about saturation, and remember I talked about high competition. So therefore, it makes sense for you to have knowledge in both, and that gives you a competitive edge in the job market. Does everybody understand that? So in TriTech, you get trained in project management and business analysis. Now, after you've done the training, and then it's time for your work experience, you might decide, you know what? I've done the training in project management. I've done the training in business analysis. However, I'm adamant that I'm a project manager. That's absolutely fine, and vice versa. And for some of you, you might, you know what? I've done the training in project management. I've also had the training in business analysis, and I like everything. And therefore, I'm going to go for hybrid. Therefore, exposing and getting trained in everything, doing my work experience and everything. And when it's time for me to write my CV, I can clearly highlight that I have knowledge and experience in both project management and also business analysis. Isn't that amazing, guys? So that's what we do in TriTech. But let's have a look at the 3 phases that we have on the screen. So when you join us, hopefully you will join us, you have phase 1, that's the discovery stage. Phase 2 is the immersion stage. And phase 3 is the acceleration stage. And then underneath, you can see your timelines. So what happens in the discovery stage? So the discovery stage is where you are right now. You're nervous, you don't have any confidence, you're new to this, you're hearing all this language flying everywhere, and you're like, oh my goodness, what is agile? What is AI? You're finding your feet, you're finding your bearing, and you've made that sacrifice to join the program, and therefore you're really beginning to discover and identify where you fit in within this tech world. So what happens in this stage? In this stage, you would do a personality test. I'm going to show you that in a moment. So remember, I talked about AI. So all of this is managed via AI. So you will do your personality test, and that will give you a guide on what role to focus on. So based on the answers that you give, it will tell you if you're more of a project manager, or you're more of a business analyst, or you're more of a PMO analyst, or you're more of everything. Okay? So that's the first thing that you would do. Also in this stage, remember, it's the discovery stage, finding yourself, understanding your strengths and your weaknesses, finding your bearing, and really beginning to create a plan and schedule for yourself. So also in this stage, you would do a skills matrix. So the personality test is about your personality, and the skills matrix is about the skills that you have currently and the skills that you need to work on to transition into tech. So again, we call this Try AI. So again, this is done via AI. Is everyone still with me? Does everybody still understand what I'm saying? Give me a yes or a no, because sometimes I talk really quickly, so I'm trying to just keep it smooth. All right, cool. Thank you. Okay, so discovery stage, discovering yourself, identifying your strengths and weaknesses, and finding your bearing. In the discovery stage is where you will do your training. So in this stage, you will do your project management training and your business analysis training, because this is where you then begin to identify whether you're a PM or whether you're a BA, and really discovering what you're interested in at the discovery stage. Also within this stage, we have what we call knowledge sharing sessions. These are known as KSS sessions, and everybody joins these sessions in TriTech. So these could be sessions on AI, these could be sessions on communication skills, these could be sessions on effective team management, outside of your learning plan. So this is phase one, and phase one would take 7 weeks. So is everyone clear on phase one, the discovery stage? Thank you, Maya. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, fantastic. Okay, let's now move on to the second stage, the immersion stage. So at this stage, you've gained that confidence. You're feeling like a tech bro and sis. You've done your training. You've identified your strengths and your weaknesses. And you're more confident within yourself. You found a network of friends within the platform. You're doing your self-studying. You're identifying what interests you. And within this stage, you will do your work experience, otherwise known as internship. Yes, I meant you will get all of this. So the second stage is now we like to call it put your money where your mouth is, right? So in the discovery stage, it's all theory. Yeah, theoretical learning. But in the second stage is your practical element. So in this stage is where you will do your internship. After you've completed your internship, you will do career counseling. So we have 3 amazing career counselors in TriTech. So after you've completed your work experience, you would spend 4 weeks with the career counselors, and their job is to prepare you for the job market, prepare you for interviews, take away that lack of confidence or imposter syndrome, and boost your confidence to ensure you are ready for the job market. Also within this stage, we do a lot of career workshops and mentorship. So when you have an interview lined up, it's our job to ensure that you have a mentor. So remember, I talked about the fact that interviews right now, you're looking at about 2 to 3 stages. It's very intense. It's very rigorous. And our job is to ensure that if you have an interview, we provide a mentor that would help you and prepare you for that interview. So the second stage is more about the practical elements, getting involved, contributing, finding your feet because you found your bearing and you kind of know at this stage what you're interested in. So at this stage, the middle stage, you know if you're more of a project manager, you will know if you're more of a business analyst or hybrid. I just want to learn everything. Ideally, this stage is 8 to 12 weeks. So does everybody understand the phase 2, the immersion stage? So we can move on. Thank you, Fola. You pay, so I'm going to talk about payment, but everything is included. Okay. Okay. And then we go to the final stage, acceleration stage. So this is where you can then begin to brag to your tech bros and sisters already in tech. You're speaking the lingo, you're speaking the language. You know, when they're talking about AI, you can confidently talk to them about AI. When they're talking about agile, it's now making sense. Or you're applying for jobs and you're seeing things about change management, or you're seeing things about, governance or the role of a PMO. Everything is now beginning to make sense. At the acceleration stage, you are confident, you are ready, you're ready to hit the job market, you're understanding the buzzwords and the lingo, you've had that experience, and therefore you're ready to just start applying for jobs. So this is where you will begin to apply for jobs or start looking for jobs using your own strategy. Also in this stage, we do what we call LinkedIn optimization. So I know some of you said that you have a LinkedIn profile already, but it's still our job to ensure that your LinkedIn profile is selling you, because it has to sell you. You have to be marketable. And if you do not have a LinkedIn profile, we would advise that you open one. It doesn't matter if there's nothing on there. Our job is to ensure we optimize your LinkedIn profile to ensure you're ready for the job market. So in the acceleration stage, we expect that you will get your success story. You're doing your LinkedIn profile, you're going for interviews at this stage, and then you're acing your interviews, and you're also joining the alumni community. So does everybody understand we have 3 phases: discovery stage, immersion stage, and acceleration stage. So how many of you on this call would love to get to the third stage, acceleration stage? Tech bro, Texas, earning £500 a day. You're confident within yourself. You can speak the language, you can speak the lingo. You've got family and friends that you can talk who are already in tech, and you can have that conversation with them about AI and agile. And that is ultimately where we would like all of our candidates to be. Okay, let's have a look at the next slide. All right, so this is something that we've also just introduced. So when you join the platform, and this was based on feedback that we had last year. So a lot of people said, you know what, we want to have a 15-minute call with the CEO. Bearing in mind, I used to do mentorship many, many years ago, and TriTech keeps me so busy. But my commitment this year is that for everybody that joins the platform, I would spend 15 minutes on a strategy call. So when you join the platform, my assistant would put out a message, and you can book a slot with me every Tuesday and Wednesday. And it's also an opportunity for me to meet you one-on-one, to understand where you're coming from, what industry you're coming from, what your challenges are, what your frustrations are. And then I kind of just give you that strategy on what I think will work for you. So how many of you would be looking to book this session with myself if or when you join the platform? It's just 15 minutes, but I do, go through a lot within that time. Someone said, can you elaborate? In Kechi, absolutely. So I can confidently tell you that every single person that has gotten a job within TriTech has never and will never lose their job. And that is why we don't believe in just rushing a process. That is why we don't believe in just, let's just give you a 2 weeks, project, and you quickly finish it and then get your job. For me, it's about quality. Because we have to think about the reputation of the company. So therefore, it's important that you don't rush the process. So with the work experience, for example, it's about 2 to 3 months. And within that time, there's a lot that you're going to be doing. So it's important that you make sure you're ready for the job market. But we've not had anyone lose their job in TriTech. Touch wood, and it's not going to happen. So I hope that answers your question, Nkechi. So 15-minute strategy call when you join TriTech, and that's every Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay, next slide. So I talked about, remember when I talked about career counseling? Can anyone remember what phase that is? Is it phase 1, 2, or 3? So remember I said that after your work experience, fantastic. So after your work experience, you would have career counseling for 4 weeks. And these are our career transition specialists. They all have experience within HR, right? So Samuel works for NatWest Bank. He's a talent resource specialist. And then we have Abayomi and Adeyimika. So you would either spend 4 weeks with Samuel, Abayomi, or Adeyimika. They're really good guys. They know their stuff. They know all the secrets about applying for jobs, what HR is looking for, what recruitment companies are looking for, the lingo to use, the language to use. They instill confidence in you. They help you, break barriers of fear of interviews, for example, and many other things. No, a Scrum Master is not part of the package. For me, I'm going to touch on that in a moment. Very good question. So is everybody clear on this? So you have Samuel, Abayomi, Adeyimika, and Jerry, yes, sometimes they also assist with applying for jobs as well. So their job, if there are any job openings where they're working, what they would normally do is post that within the TriTech platform. But these guys are amazing. They know their onions, they know what they're talking about, and they are instrumental to the TriTech journey. Okay, the next slide. Is everyone still with me? Let me do a quick roll call. I do this every so often. Are we still enjoying the session? Is it making sense? Is everything making sense? Is it easing some of the lack of confidence? And looking at what we've covered, we're still going to do a little bit of training because this session finishes at 8:30, although I'm going to try and finish before. Okay, fantastic. And I'm speaking the language that you understand. So it's not too technical and it's not too good. Music to my ears. Okay, so training dates and times. So this is something that we introduced this year. Last year, we only had weekend training options. And a lot of people were like, oh, weekends, some of you love money, so you're doing a lot of shift work. We know, we understand. So what we did was we decided, you know what, let's have 2 training options available. So you have the option of weekday training, and you also have the option of weekend training. So let's say you're very, very busy on Saturdays. Then you have the option of weekday training from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And training commences on the 5th of February. And let's say you're really, really busy during the weekdays. You then have the option of Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Or let's say, again, shift work, I just want to make my money, etc., because the economy is not smiling right now. You could do this. Perhaps, for example, yes, I was about to say that, James. So let's say, for example, you're available on Tuesday and Wednesday you're not available. What you could do is therefore swap that day for a Saturday. Does everyone understand that? And also, all of the training that you're going to be having is recorded and uploaded for 7 days. So even if you miss a class or a session, you can choose to swap and join another day, or watch the recording that is uploaded on our platform for 7 days. How many classes in total? Admin, help me out. I think it's 6 days, 6 or 7, but please, admin, just so I don't give the wrong information. Okay, so these are the training dates and times: Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., or Saturdays. Okay, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Next slide, please. Admin, can we just confirm that question? Thank you. So someone talked about certifications. So this is our lovely certificate that we provide to all of our candidates, providing they have done the work. So we are CPD certified. We are also part of the UK registered learning providers. We've got our Forbes logo on here. We've got our Channel 4 and Lloyd's logo on here as well. So what this means is when you complete the program, you would get a certificate of completion, showcasing the work that you've done and the type of project that you've worked on as well. Staff, can we just look at some of the questions on here? Thank you so much, Juliana. I was expecting more people to say, don't we love the look and the feel of this certificate? I think it's glamorous. I think it's beautiful. Does anyone else agree, or is it just me and Juliana? But this is the certificate that you get upon completion. Price will be mentioned in a moment. Admin, I just need you to confirm how many days in a week. Very important, so I don't give them the wrong information. Price is not mentioned just yet. Thank you. So this is what you get. You can put it on your wall, or you know how we roll. Next slide. So what are some of the tools that you're going to be using for your internship? So all of the tools will be given to you on group level, so not individually. But it's very, very important that you know how to use all of the tools. So for example, we are going to teach you how to use MS Project. We're going to teach you how to use Visio, Balsamic and Lucidchart, amongst other tools. Do not worry if you have no clue on what all of these tools are about. When you start your work experience, we are going to train you and teach you on how to use these tools. And this is what you're going to use for your work experience in TriTech as well. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, so very, very quickly, I'm going to talk about TDL. Any guess? Oh, it's on the screen. Okay, TriTech Digital Library. All of the tools are included in your package. Cost implication, I'm coming onto that in a moment. Just give me a few. Okay, so TriTech Digital Library is your library, right? Think of it as your Netflix. For those of you that go on Netflix, we all do. I would say that the moment you log into TDL, you will forget all about Netflix, YouTube, and everything else. So TDL is not part of your training, but it's a resource center that has a lot of videos that are going to help you along the way. Now, one thing I will mention is that we're not going to give you a bunch of videos and say, go and watch your videos. No, you still have your live learning like so. However, TDL is a resource center. So think of it as an encyclopedia, a dictionary, a Bible that you go to in terms of getting or seeking more information. So this is what TDL looks like. So can everyone see TDL on the screen? So we've just logged in. Can everyone see it's on the screen? Can we see it? Thank you, thank you. So the moment you register and you make payment, you would be sent your login details. You can watch TDL on your mobile phones, your laptops and your iPads. So on here, you've got all your training materials. On here, you've also got your timetable because it's very important. You've got your personality test on here. So remember, I talked about your personality test and your skills matrix. All of that is also on TDL. You've got your induction videos for when you join TriTech as well. So this is a personality test and everything else. But what I want us to look at are the videos. So let's have a look at the videos very, very quickly. So think of TDL as your one-stop shop for everything. Your training materials, your timetables, your personality tests, your skills matrix, and everything else as well. So for the purpose of today, remember that you're paying for project management videos and business analysis videos. So it's up to you where you want to start first. So let's have a look at some of the topics that we have on TDL. So we have, can we enlarge this, please, David? Thank you. So on the left-hand side, you would see all the topics that we have. No, you don't pay separately. It's all included. So the fee that I'm going to announce shortly is all included in the offer. What is the difference between TriTech and Udemy in regards to this? This is more personalized. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the topics that we have on TDL. So we have got topics on, Nene, I will come to that in a moment. We have got topics on report writing. We've got topics on project governance. So all of the topics are on the left, like a library, okay? We've got topics on stakeholder management. Can we expand that a little bit? Thank you. We've got topics on change management on here as well, people management, stakeholder management. I remember someone said that they're in change management at the moment. We've got topics on how to deal with people. Risk management is also on here. All of the topics are on the left, if you can see it. We've got videos on digital project management as well. We've even got videos on AI on here. We've got videos on PMO, how to set up a PMO office. We have a lot of videos on Agile, over 10 videos on Agile. How to be a great Scrum Master is on here. GDPR, a project manager's diary as well is also on here. CV writing, we've got a lot of videos on CV writing and interview preparation. We've got videos on confidence at work. We've got videos on quality management, communication management is also on here. Even how to use PowerPoint, we've got that on here as well. Resource management, how to use ChatGPT to look for jobs. We've got videos on interview questions, AI, LinkedIn optimization, what to expect on your first day at work, emotional intelligence is on here, self-awareness. So there's a lot of topics outside of your learning curriculum. So let's have a look at this topic, landing a tech job in 2024. I know we're in 2025, but all you will do is browse through all of the topics. Bear in mind that you have access to TDL for 9 months. So you select the topic of your choice, you press play, and then you've got the slides and the mentor in the background. Okay, and that is how you would watch your videos. Let's have a look at another video, for example, emotional intelligence in conflict resolution. I just saw that now, but it's fine, just select any other one. So effective stakeholder management and how to manage expectations. So again, you select your video and there you go. So these are just project management videos. Let's have a look at the business analysis videos. So if you were to describe TDL in one word, how would you describe it? So let's go to the BA videos. But whilst he's doing that, how would you describe TDL in just one word? No exams at the end of the program, no. In one word, what word would excellent? Okay. A library, absolutely informative. It's your resource center. It's your knowledge hub, simply put. So let's have a look at the BA videos. So remember, you have your live training, and let's say, for example, you miss 1 or 2 training sessions. It will be recorded and uploaded on TDL for 7 days. But let's have a look at some of the topics that we have for the BAs in the house. We've got videos on requirement gathering, process modeling. We've even got videos on software testing on here. We've got videos on how to use Visio, Jira. These are tools that you will learn later on. We've got videos on strategy and implementation, Agile, Scrum Master. We've even got Scrum Master training, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. Somebody asked about cybersecurity. We have cybersecurity, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. All included within your videos. We've got videos on job application process, recipe for success as a business analyst, robotic process automation, business change management is also on here, big data, we've got videos on AI. So you can see that it's a resource center with so much information that you can access for 9 months. There's videos on confidence at work, videos on interview case studies, how to use user stories, conflict resolution from a BA point of view, interview methodologies, attaining excellence as an IT professional, and so on and so forth. So again, you browse through, bearing in mind you have 9 months, and all you do is select any topic of your choice. So it's like going shopping for shoes, and you buy 1 pair of shoes and then you come back for more. Story of my life. But anyway, so you select the topic of your choice, you press play, the mentor is in the background, and then you have your slides as well. And the great thing about TDL is that you can watch it on your mobile phone. So does everybody understand that TDL is your dictionary, it's your resource center, it's your knowledge hub and everything else. So we're not just going to give you videos and say, go and watch videos. You would still have your live training, but at the same time, access to TDL that's going to help you along the way. Okay, can we get the slides back, please? And this is all included in your package. Let's go to the next slide very, very quickly because of time. We're going to wrap up very, very shortly. Okay, I'm hoping that they are on the call. So how many of you follow us on Instagram? Give me a yes, give me a no. Do you follow us on Instagram? Yes, and do you read all those success stories? And I know some of you might be like, is it real? Are they fake? Are they not? Anyway, we have over 3,000 success stories. I mean, we've been around for 8 years, so 3,000 people have joined our platform and they've transitioned into tech. I'm hoping that we can hear from some of the candidates who are going to speak now about their journey. Guys, no longer than 3 minutes because of time. So we have Ayola, Ayorinde, and Onyekachi. So Ayola, when you're ready, if he's on the call.
Good evening.
Hi, Ayola.
Hi, how you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Good evening, everyone that is listening. My name is Ayola. I joined TriTech 2024 March. I heard about TriTech from a friend of mine. I was going to do this training with a different company. In fact, I had already spoken with them. We've agreed. Then my friend told me about TriTech. Then I listened to this session like everyone is doing right now. And I was convinced from that moment that, okay, I'm just going to stick with this and I'm going to do it here. I am a customer service representative. I had no prior experience, not even in official settings. I own a farm back in Nigeria before coming to the UK. And I did this. I followed through, attended classes. I was a PMO office. So I basically did all the reports and everything that was supposed to be done because we have our meetings and we have things that we had to do, which I follow through on. And I did not even finish my training before I started applying because I wanted to see what it's going to be like. I wanted to challenge myself. And I got one interview. I didn't try to think about it. And it wasn't nice, but I knew where I was getting at. Then I got another one towards the end of this year. Then it was nice. I was assigned to a mentor by TriTech, amazing person, Janice. She was friendly all through. And to cut the long story short, the breakthrough came December 31st. It was a good news. It was a good way to enter the new year. And I got an interview with NHS. I had my interview. It was smooth. It was nice. And I was offered the role on the spot. While they were talking to me, they told me they were going to get back to me in a week. 30 minutes later, I had 2 missed calls on my phone. I checked and they've been calling. And I called them back and they said the hiring manager would like to offer me the role that I did well. Would you like to have it? Would I say no? So, I mean, if you follow through, if you believe in what you're doing, and if you genuinely want to be in this role, I mean, the sky is the limit. I have a lot to say, but I don't have enough time because I could write a book. So, thank you very much. Thank you. Amazing, amazing people that you've got. Keep doing the good work. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ayola, what role did you secure?
Project support officer.
Project support officer. Fantastic. Yeah. Well done. Well done. Thank and you. All the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. So a lot of the candidates are on LinkedIn for anyone that wants to connect with them. Who do we have next, David?
We have AY next.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Hello. Hi, good evening. AY,
yeah,
how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Good evening. Sorry, my name is Ayorinde Fasoni. I joined TriTech 2023, I think about maybe April or May, not so sure of the month. I served as the project planner during my set, and it was a friend that introduced me to TriTech while I joined, and it was actually a very good experience for me. Sorry, my voice is a bit shaky. I've been down with the weather. So I was involved throughout the whole process, and the training was so helpful. And I will really say that if you are not really prepared, it can be very overwhelming. There's a lot, too much resources to go through, which are very helpful. So I would say the training was helpful for me, and sometimes almost similar to what Ayola just said, I got my own role as well. December, it was NHS, coincidentally. I interviewed for the role on a Wednesday, and on Friday, they got back to me that I have been offered the role. And to the glory of God, I didn't even have to ask for sponsorship. They just said they were checking my right to work, which was going to expire next month, that they are offering me sponsorship if it's of interest to me, and which they gave me already. So wow. I want to say thank God and also thank you to TriTech. And I also want to commend, I've seen a lot of improvements just few months that I left, the certificate, the 15 minutes with the CEO and all of that.
Yes.
That is very, I will still take my own 15 minutes, please. So thank you
That's
so much.
fine.
Yeah, thank you.
So congratulations and well done on your sponsorship.
Thank you.
And
Thank
what
you.
role did you secure? Very quickly.
Assistant Capital Project Manager.
Amazing. Well done.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, who do we have, David, because of time?
Oyekachi.
Oyekachi.
So that will be me. Hi, everybody. I hope
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm great. So I'll just go straight to it. I joined TriTech 28th of January 2023. And I mean, why did I join, right? I mean, I randomly saw my sister-in-law when before I relocated to UK attending one of their sessions. I mean, I just looked at it and I mean, just passed. But then when I came to UK, for the first 2 months, I found it difficult getting interviews when I was applying. So I had to go back to her, spoke to her, and then I mean, got the flyers and then attended the tester session. Then it was called the tester session. And after that, I signed up immediately and joined. So, but when I joined, I had I already had my objectives set at what I wanted to. And I wanted to optimize my CV. I also wanted to learn some key tools, BPMN, the wireframing, and a couple of other things because those are keywords as I kept seeing in most of the job descriptions. Well, I mean, we did the whole training, and after a couple of I didn't get a job immediately, but after a couple of months, I got a business analyst role in one of the retail jobs. That was in 2024. But then just last month, I got 2 roles as a senior business analyst in one of the top 5 banks in UK. 2 of them offered me a senior business analyst role. So why am I saying all this, right? I'm saying it because, I mean, I know a couple of people, right? I mean, might be in the position that I was, I mean, a couple of years ago, where you had that imposter syndrome. You keep getting a lot of, unfortunately, or maybe you attend interviews and before you even finish the interviews, they've already sent you, unfortunately. I mean, I think it's an opportunity for you to have an open mind, attend the classes, be very active. I was the assistant. I volunteered to be the deputy BA in my own Team Pandora. I participated actively. Sometimes we had late meetings, 11 p.m., 12, and sometimes 1 a.m. I mean, that helped. Some didn't do it, but then that helped me to improve on some of the skills, the gaps that I had, and it helped me in my work and also to perform actively during the interviews. So in summary, right, I mean, since we don't have a lot of time, right, I mean, I just want to say that, you need to have a clarity of what you want to achieve. Join the TriTech training and participate actively, right? If you can, optimize your CV and the LinkedIn, you will definitely get the offers. And the KSS sessions, I think if you can prioritize to attend it, especially those interview and work expectations, right? Then it used to be on Thursdays. It really helps. There are a lot of things you get to participate in solving real interview questions. So it's really helped. So that's thank you. And then special thanks, I mean, to Gladys Ajayi, right? I mean, she really helped me. She provided mentorship. Lekon was our BA program support, and then Adeyemi, of course, helped us in the as a career coach, right, to help us overcome the imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome. That's amazing. Well done, Oyekachi. Congratulations on securing a role. Is as a senior business analyst or as a business analyst? Senior.
Yeah.
Wow. And what were you doing before you joined TriTech?
Okay, I have always been a senior business analyst in Nigeria.
In Nigeria, okay.
Yes, a multinational company in Nigeria, yes. But then coming to UK, of course, is a reset. You have to start
all over again, yeah.
And then build up.
Well done. Well done. Congratulations. Okay, so I wish we could have, thank you so much, Yekachi. I wish we could have, all our success story candidates come and speak, but that means we would be here till forever. And you would have noticed that it's just the men for today. Funny enough, the last session that we had, it was just women. So I guess the women are busy doing whatever they're doing, and we could only grab the men for today. So congratulations and well done to Ayola, Ayorinde, and Oyekachi. And it was nice to hear Ayola talk about sponsorship as well. So for many of you, it's not just about sponsorship in care. You can actually get a sponsorship role within tech. And one thing I've noticed is with NHS, they do take on a lot of our candidates, which is a testament, I guess, to the work that we're doing. Okay, let's have a look at the next slide. So what I'm thinking to do, I'm just going to gauge it with the audience. So how many of you need to drop off in the next 10 minutes? And how many of you need to drop off by 8:30? And that will help me gauge what I need to do. So if you need to drop off within the next 5 to 10 minutes, just say yes, or 8:30, or just put your time actually in the chat. So it just helps me. 8:30. Okay, we're going to wrap up very, very soon. So just forgive me if I have to just go through things a little bit quickly. Okay, so let's have a look at core skills in 2025. As I mentioned earlier on, you will find that the skills have evolved over time. So, roll on from 10 years, 2014 to 2025, there has been a huge change in the skills that are needed and essential within the tech space. And looking at this data here right now, you can see that digital skills is sitting at number 1. And then we have AI skills at number 2. As we know, AI is here to stay. And one amazing thing that we have introduced for those of you joining this year is AI training, because we notice that it's so important right now within the tech space. So when you register for project management and business analysis training, you will also have AI training as well. So we have a curriculum embedded within your PM and BA training. So let's have a look at some other skills that are needed right now in 2025. So tech is not just about the hard skills. So it's not just about innovation, creativity, and all that tech stuff, but it also includes your soft skills as well, especially where there's more of a demand on AI. So AI is able to, manipulate the way that we think, but it doesn't have the ability to show those emotions, empathy, emotional intelligence, and communication, and so on and so forth. So one thing that you will find with some of the core skills this year is that there's a huge emphasis on empathy, emotional intelligence, communication skills, leadership skills as well is very important, and active listening. So it's very important that you have the knowledge of the tech skills, but equally having the knowledge of the soft skills as well. Analytical thinking, and that's essentially for the BAs in the house, the ability to analyze information. Leadership skills is also very important. Motivation and self-awareness, but you can see that the top, I would say, skills that you have on here would be your digital skills, your AI skills, empathy, creative thinking, and leadership. Okay, let's have a look at the next slide. Okay, so this is just a case study from, we finally have a lady, hooray. So this is Adijoke, who also secured her success story in TriTech, and she was a care worker. So for many of you on the call that I know you work in care, we're just going to identify the transferable skills that she had that enabled her to get a job in tech. So she's a mother of 4, who transitioned into tech from working as a care worker. So what were some of the existing skills that she had as a care worker? Empathy skills, problem solving skills, stakeholder management, customer care, quality control, attention to detail, and adaptability. So these were the skills that she possessed at the time when she was working in care, and those were the skills that she was able to bring into the tech space. So how did she transition? The first thing that she had to do was identify her strengths and her weaknesses. And I think this is very, very important for any of you that want to get a job in tech. What are you good at and what are you not good at? And that will enable you to identify what role is best for you. So remember, I said that as a project manager, it's all about leading, taking control, managing people, managing conflicts, communicating effectively, and having those difficult and challenging conversations. As a business analyst, it's all about identifying, analyzing. You need to have an inquisitive mindset. And as a PMO analyst, you're working behind the scenes, looking at governance and processes. So it's very important that you identify your strengths and your weaknesses. Another thing that you need to do as well is give yourself a timeline. It's absolutely important that if you're coming on this program, you have a timeline by when you want to get your success story. Because even though you have 9 months on the program, it's very easy for you to forget. We're finishing at 8:30 UK time. So even if you have 9 months on the program, it's very easy for you to just think, okay, I have 9 months, and before you know it, time is ticking away. So for example, for myself, I wanted to make sure that I got my job within 4 months. And I did get my job within 4 months. So it's very important that you put a timeline to your strategy. Yes, Afolabi, you get trained in everything. So identify your strengths and your weaknesses. Give yourself a timeline by when you want to get your success story. Make sure you're following up on upcoming trends in tech. Obviously, you've got TDL that's going to help you with that. Get involved in the practical work experience and network. And most importantly as well, make sure that your LinkedIn profile is up to date. It's very, very important, especially now in 2025. Next slide. Just want to see what's next. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this very, very quickly in just 1 minute, and then I'm going to announce the fee. So what does a project manager do essentially? Very, very quickly in the chat, if you know that you're adamant, you're interested in, yes, Afolabi. Okay, so if you're interested in the role of a project manager, just put PM in the chat. So you're adamant that you're a PM, you've got leadership skills, you like to be in control, maybe you're an event planner, or maybe you're working in a managerial role at the moment, you're very organized, you like to just delegate and make. Fantastic. If that is you, then definitely the PM role is just right for you. So what does a project manager do essentially? There are 2 words that come to mind when we're thinking of the role of a project manager: responsibility and accountability. And what that means essentially is you are responsible and accountable for ensuring that the project is completed on time and within budget. So your job is to manage everybody within the team. So whether you have BAs within your team, whether you have PMOs within your team, whether you have software testers, software developers, UX designers, you name it, your job is to manage everybody. So you're going to have a diverse team. We call it a cross-functional team. Different team members with different lengths of experience, different skill sets, and everyone coming together to ensure that the project is a success. And your job is to manage everybody accordingly. And not just managing people, but managing the budget and the timeline, and also managing your stakeholders' expectations. So your client is depending on you to ensure that their project is a success. So as they like to say, your name is on the door. If the project is successful, you give yourself a pat on the back and you open a bottle of champagne. And if the project is a failure, you also need to take accountability. So as the project manager, you're managing any risks and issues, you're managing any problems or challenges. You are an all-rounder, managing, monitoring, delegating, and ensuring that everybody is doing what they need to do to ensure that the project is completed on time within the budget that has been given and is of high quality. Next slide. We're wrapping up very shortly. Okay, a PMO analyst. Next slide, PMO, thank you. Okay, so this role is for those of you perhaps you're not ready to be a project manager just yet. You're not confident enough to take that leadership role, but you like admin. You've worked in maybe the bank before, you have HR experience, or you have quality assurance experience, or you've worked with PPI and complaints. As a PMO analyst, your job is all about governance and compliance. So whilst the project manager is managing, monitoring, and making sure everyone is doing what they need to do, your job is to work behind the scenes, ensuring that there are strategies in place and making sure that everyone is dotting their I's and crossing their T's. So a bit like a police officer, making sure that there are standards in place, making sure that there are governance processes in place, and you are all about structure, compliance, standardization, and governance within the project. So if you're interested in this role, just say PMO. This role is really good, like I said, if you come from admin, HR, probation officer, or you're a probation officer, fantastic, yes. You're a lawyer, for example, a police officer, case handler, PPI, quality assurance, you know, all of that compliance side of things, then this is definitely a good role. You can start with this role and yes, case handler, etc. Fantastic. This type of role, you need good attention to detail. You're highly organized. You're not afraid to work with documentation. You're not afraid to work with admin. I'm not an admin person. I could never do this role. Don't give me admin. I'm rubbish. Let's have a look at the next slide for the BAs in the house. We're not talking about project planning today, but it's another role that you can go for. Adidai, I'll come to that in a moment. As a business analyst, so if you're adamant you're a BA, I think there's so many BAs actually on this call. Just say BA in the chat, you're adamant you're a BA. Yes, TriTech does hybrid, etc., but you just want to be a BA. Okay, so for this type of role, as a business analyst, key skills that you need to have. You need to be very analytical. You need to be very inquisitive. You need to be someone that likes to investigate situations. You need to be someone that loves to ask questions, the why, the when, the how. I would say a little bit nosy, because you really need to understand a problem within that organization in order to come up with a solution. Someone said time. I've got 2 minutes. I'm good. Okay, as a business analyst, your job is to identify problems within an organization, but not just identify those problems, recommend the solution and implement that solution as well. So why are there no sales within an organization? Why are people not visiting the website? Why is there a low turnover in customer service? So you're really identifying the why within an organization. Once you've identified the why, there you come up with your own strategy and solution, whether it's to introduce a new product, whether it's to improve customer service, whether it's to increase sales, and so on and so forth. So therefore, with this role, you are providing solutions, identifying problems, and ensuring that the business is moving in the right direction. And if you're just hybrid, you just want to learn everything, just put hybrid in the chats. I will go to the next slide. Just put hybrid. Helen is giving me pressure right now. Helen, you've pressurized me right now. I'm nearly done. Okay, so this is just a guide to help you in terms of what's where you're sitting currently and how you can transition. So at the top, you've got project manager role, business analyst role, and a PMO analyst role. And then underneath, you can find the different job roles that you're doing currently. So for example, for the project managers in the house, if you're a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, a sales manager, delivery manager, retail, or even chef, we would advise that you go for the role of a project manager. And for the BAs in the house, if you're an engineer, again, a doctor, an accountant, financial advisor, scientist, lecturer, professor, I saw someone talk about computer science. Essentially, you would fit under the role of a BA, right? And PMOs in the house, if you come from a HR background, a law background, I can't speak, care or support work, quality analyst, compliance, banking, and PPI, then we would advise that you go for the role of a PMO analyst. So I know there are a lot of you working in care and support at the moment. So we would advise that you go for the role of a PMO analyst. This is just a guide only. I'm going to wrap up with the session and then stay on for anyone that needs to ask me any other questions. Supply chain or procurement will be a project manager. Let's have a look at the next slide, or a PMO analyst. Health and safety would be PMO. Okay, so we're going to announce the discounts for today for those of you interested in joining today. It's a shocker. So Helen, you might want to stay for just 1 second. Helen is giving me a shock. Yes, I'm about to talk about the payments. It's a shocker, so I would advise that you stay on. I will answer any questions for those of you that have put things in the chat, but I know a lot of people need to go. So are you ready for the discount? I said it's a shocker, and believe me, it is a shocker. So let's have a look at what we have in store for those of you looking to join today. So remember that the fee that's going to be announced is all inclusive of everything that I've talked about. So usually the fee is £1,400. You get your training, you get your AI training, project planning training, internship, access to career coaching, your mentorship, your LinkedIn optimization, access to TDL, networking, referencing, and we also do immigration sessions as well. So we have an immigration specialist for those of you that are on COS or you need advice with your visas. We do that every month within TriTech. £1,400. Let's have a look at the offer we have for today. Okay, so I said it was a shocker, and guys, can we not see that it is a shocker? So every month we have different discounts. 2 weeks ago, the offer was different to what we have right now. So we are offering this package for £399. And that is all inclusive, okay? So for 1,400, it's now discounted to 399. In order for you to secure this slot, there are numbers on the screen. So you have Adijoke, Esther, and Shegun. So all you need to do is text word payments. You can do transfers, debit cards, credit cards. 399 is just for today. And then from tomorrow, it would be 499. So remember, I said it's a shocker. So 399 is the offer for those of you looking to join today. So 399 is a one-off payment. So just a one-off payment, you want to get it over and done with, that would be the fee. Let's have a look at the other options that we have available. Okay, so if you're looking to pay installments, it's 450. So that means you would do